Welcome viewers. In this video session, we are going to give you the topic that is plant location and facility layout. In this video session, we will cover only plant location because it is a big unit. So, we have divided into two parts. In first session, we will focus on plant location. This is unit 2 of your course under block 1 of course production management. I am your course coordinator, Dr. Ashish Agrawal from School of Engineering and Technology, IGNOU, New Delhi. Our attempt in making this video to simplify the course or the course content in a very simple way. We want that we should make this course very simple so that you should not find any difficulty in understanding what is plant location and what is facility layout. First, we have to understand what is facility planning. Basically, facility planning exercise determines how an activity, tangible fixed asset best support the activity objective. Now, if I give you example, my room where I am sitting, my library, my cafeteria, all are coming under the facility planning. So, with the help of the facility planning, we always try to provide a appropriate structure of the facility. Even in case of facility location, we always try to locate a facility so that our objective can be fulfilled. Now, why we need the facility planning? If you see that 20 to 50% of total operating cost within manufacturing are attributed to material handling. If we give a appropriate or effective facility planning, we can save the overall cost by 10 to 30%. If we make a effective planning, it will help management to achieve their business goal. Now, what would be the business goal? To minimize the cost, to optimize the profit. Now, how you will optimize your profit? If your price is at the constant level, you have to minimize the cost. For minimization of cost, you have to minimize the wastage. For minimization of waste, you need to reduce the material handling. You have to reduce the material movement, and that comes the function or the work of the facility planning. Second need is the future expansion. Suppose a automobile company established in 1980 is working quite well in India and they capture about 60 to 65% of the market share. They need the expansion, so they need a new plant. And for locating a new plant, they need the facility planning. Another important thing is that we always want safe, healthy and comfortable environment for our employees. That means we want a healthy environment, proper lighting system, proper circulation in case of working place. Now, facility planning includes two parts: facility / plant location and second is facility layout. In today's session, we will cover facility location. So, location of a facility is a problem which is associated with the planning phase, whether it is a manufacturing organization, whether it is a service organization. You can also say that facility location is the first planning activity. Yes, in case we are going for the expansion, it may be the second planning activity, but if for new startup activity, facility location is the first planning activity. And it is a vital decision, because you will appreciate that once you identify the location, your facility or your plant is developed, you are not going to make any change for coming future. It is always said that facility location or plant layout is very difficult, or in other words, it is a complex procedure. Why it is so? If you think on this issue, you will find that the most important issue is the uncertainty in the future. Whatever you will find suitable today, it is quite possible tomorrow it will not be suitable. For example, a particular facility which is good for me and I used to go several times for a service, now I am not finding it suitable because of the traffic problem, because of the transportation problem. Second important part is there are complexity and conflicting factors associated with the site or the site selection. There are some constraints and limitation of resources to produce a particular site. Let me give you one example. We want a site for our new factory. Site A is near to the market, but it is far from the raw material location, while site B is near to the raw material location, but it is far from the market. Now, which location you will choose? Now, see the second. Site A is in rural location with cheap availability of labor, while site B is in urban location where you will find a better availability of the power and the water. Again question, which site you will select? So, in both cases you will find that you have to compromise with certain issues and certain factors while selecting a particular site. That is why the facility location is not easy. Now, consideration in plant location. No plant can be located at one place which fulfills all criteria of a perfect location. That means we cannot find a perfect location for a particular manufacturing unit. Some factors need to be compromised to take the advantage of other factors. Another very important point here which I am going to tell you, that if the raw material is bulky and it is difficult to transport, the plant must be located near to raw material. I have given some example, just like Jamshedpur, Bokaro, Raurkela or NTPC. When I have giving you an example of Jamshedpur, then definitely I am talking about the Tata Steel. Tata Steel, for Tata Steel we need the raw iron which are coming from the iron mines. So, that particular location should be near, because the raw material is bulky and the final product after certain processes are not so bulky. Then we keep our particular location near to the raw material. Bokaro again steel plant, Rourkela steel plant, NTPC for coal or the raw material needed for the power generation. Now, these are the few considerations needed for the plant location. First one is nearness to the material sources or the raw material resources, nearness to the market or the consumer. Remember, the electronic goods manufacturer always try to keep its location near to the market or near to the consumer. Similarly, banks, hospital, hotel, they will also try to remain near to the consumer. Good transportation facility. It is very important for any facility, because inputs are to be brought through inbound logistic and output is to be transported through output logistic. We need a good transportation facility, at least good roads should be available, availability of fuel and power, that is must for an location, availability of water, because nowadays the water is used as a coolant also, water is used for a drinking purposes for the employees, and also the water is used for generating the steam in case of some manufacturing units. Another important factor is the cheap availability of the land. As a manager or as a owner of the factory, we would like to see that whether the land is available cheaply or not, because if we go for the urban area or we go for the rural area, we will get a quite good land or good large land in case of rural area. Suitable climatic condition. In case of textile industry, we need the humid condition. Similarly, in case of watch company, we need the humid conditions. So, for making a selection, we need to give proper consideration for the climatic condition. Now, the construction cost. Once we have decided a location, then we will go for the construction of manufacturing unit. Therefore, we should make consideration for the construction cost, because it gives a quite good or considerable amount in the initial cost of a manufacturing unit. Taxes and the government regulation. One has to give consideration, because sometimes government give holiday benefit for tax in certain places. For example, about I think 10 years before, Goa was a place where government was giving tax holiday if the unit is established in Goa. Government regulation, when we talked about, it is mostly in case of environment issues, and one has to keep considerational analysis for government regulation. What are the government regulations are applicable for a particular location? Then waste disposal. Whether your particular location has a facility for waste disposal. Suppose you are going for a leather industry, you always need a waste disposal system. Similarly, in case of textile, you need a waste disposal, whether you go for a paper industry or paper unit, you always get the waste disposal. Certain environmental regulations are always exist for every location. ISO 14000 you have to see for particular location, and you have to give due consideration while making a decision for a plant location. Now, this is a comparative study of rural, suburban and rural sites. On the left side we have given several factors, on the right side we have made a comparison. The factors which we have discussed, just like land availability, you will find in case of urban, land availability is less or it will be at a higher cost, while in case of rural you will find plenty of land, while in case of suburban area you will find moderate. Connectivity, when I am talking, it is in case of transportation, it is connectivity with the rail lines, connectivity with airport, connectivity with market, that we have to give consideration. Then availability of labor, communication network, wages for the employees. You will see in case of urban it is high, in case of rural it is low. One has to see what is the condition of power availability, what is the condition for the water availability. Another important point is the supporting industry. Now, why the companies are coming in Gurugram? Because there are so many automobile companies, so these companies get support by even by their competitor. For example, Maruti may get support for their suppliers, just like Asahi glasses or Bharat Forge or any companies which are there to support their functions. Market, training facility, security is another point, because it covers the security for the factory, security for the employee. Expansion, whether there is a possibility for expansion of the unit. Taxes, what are the taxes are imposed by the government in case of particular facility. Government support, whether government is giving more support for the particular location. Now, another important point is union problem. You will find that a particular area is famous for a specific attitude of the person. That means the attitude of the person or the attitude of the population also gives a very important consideration in making the facility location problem. Waste disposal, environment constraint, financial incentive. Sometimes government gives low interest rate financial loan for making business or developing a unit in case of a particular location. So, you will find that with this comparison, rural and urban areas have their own strength and the weaknesses. One has to make the compromise by selecting a semi-urban area which is near to big city as well as near to the rural area. Now, since we are living in Delhi, for us Faridabad is a semi-urban area, Gurugram is semi-urban, Sahibabad or Dadri, even Dadri is coming as a semi-urban area. If you talk about the UP, then Naini is also a semi-urban area. Now, the question comes when a situation for location decision arises. The first one is very clear, then when a new facility is needed to start a new product or new manufacturing unit, we definitely go for a new location. Now, if an existing facility need expansion, we will go for a new expansion. Now, we want a new facility just like warehouses, like storage or go down, we will go for a new facility. Sometimes there is also requirement for changing the location because of certain economical, social or legal factors. There are so many issues, and we have seen in the past that several units have displaced from their original unit to the new unit. Now, what are the precautions one has to make while making the location decision? You will appreciate that this decision is a long term decision. If you select or your selection is poor, that will affect the future financial position of the unit. There are chances of disruption in the production, there are chances of strikes, there are chances of substandard quality products. So, you have to make precaution while making a proper location decision. Now, what is the procedure for making the location decision? Because as we see, it is not very easy. We have seen the example where one location is good and satisfied certain factors and is poor on another set of factors, while second unit is good for some factors and poor in another set of factors. So, it is a multi-criteria type of a decision. So, these are the 3 steps which we have to follow. First is identify the dominant location factors, just like availability of land, availability of transportation facility, these are the factors. Then in second step, we will develop a location alternatives. Just like we have a location alternatives, Palwal, Ballabgarh or Mathura. Similarly, then we have to evaluate the location alternatives by considering the location factors, and we will reach to a certain decision to decide which location is more suitable for our objective. These are the some of the techniques. In your unit, you will not find all these location techniques. That is why I am giving you detail in this session, because the first one is very simple one and the last one is a typical one. So, if you give and if you start with the simple one, it will be very easy to learn the typical one or the difficult one. As we said in the first technique, it is a equal weight method. S1, S2, S3 and S4 are the alternative location sites. F1, F2, F3 are the 3 factors. Now, what we have done, we have taken the scale from 0 to 10. Now, for each site, considering the factor, we have assigned the weight. For example, site 1 will satisfy factor 1 for weight 2. So, we have given weight 2. If you come to the last column, site 4, for factor 3, we are assigning weight 3. So, that means in the scale of 0 to 10, we are assigning. If you go for the third site, you will find it is more suitable for factor 1. And if you sum up all the factor, you will find that site 3 is at the highest with 24 marks. So, we will go for the site 3 to fulfill our 3 factors which are given in the first column. So, this is a very simple equal weight method where we are assigning the equal weights to each factor. Now, we will come to the variable weight method. Now, for each factors, because all factors are not equally important. So, what we have done, factor 1 is more important. So, we have assigned the weight 300. Factor 2 is lesser important, we have assigned weight 100. Factor 3 is least important, we have given the weight 50. Now, what we have done, we have given the factor or the weight for site S1, S2, S3 and S4, and we have multiplied the weight of the site to the weight of the factor. So, the total sum will come for site 1 is 200, site 2 250, 250 and 50. Now, if you sum up, you will find that now site 2 is in better position and scoring the highest among all the sites. So, we will go for the site 2. Now, another important is weight cum rating method. You will find a similar type of situation where we have given the weight from 0 to 5 or 1 to 5. Similarly, we have given weight to sites and then multiplied by the weight of factor to the weight of site, and then we have sum up. So, we found that site 3 scores highest. So, we will go for the site 3. Now, another important method is a factor rating method, where we have a subjective scale: poor, fair, adequate, good, excellent. So, we will take this scale in 1 to 5 and then we take the analysis as we have done in case of earlier cases. Now, in case of factor point rating method, we will develop a list of relevant factor, we will assign a factor on some scale, we weigh the factors, we will make a comparison among the factors, then score the each potential location on the basis of some scale, and then we will choose the location on the basis of the total point. Now, this is a very important table, and if you just see that we have made 3 scales, 1, 2, 3. Now, we are comparing 2 factors x and y. In the selection of site for X1 company, under this technique, we try to compare 2 factors on the scale of 1 to 3, and if factor x score as a major factor, to factor y we give the score x3. If y score as a major factor to x, we give the score y3. If x score as a medium, then we will give x2. If y score medium, then y2. If x score minor, then x1, and if y score minor, we will give y1. In today's session, we have tried to provide you different aspects or different factors for the facility location. We have also given you the definition of facility planning and facility location. We have also make a comparison between three types of site, that is urban, semi-urban and rural area. You will appreciate that a location which is suitable, the location, particular location which is suitable for particular factor may not be suitable for another set of factors. Therefore, the making a location decision is a very complex, and as a manager, as a owner, we should be very cautious while making a decision, because the location decision is going to affect our future. In next session, video session, we will try to give you more example for facility location decision problem. Thank you.